I think we've seen that China has already participated very deeply in global markets. There wouldn't be anybody who'd be looking at a copper price that wouldn't check Shanghai exchange first. And we're seeing a lot of liquidity growing in our region. We've got over 150,000 WTI contracts traded here in Asia. A lot of that volume is coming from Asia and significantly China as well. So they are already participating in price formation. I think what you're talking about is onshore price formation or renminbi price formation. And I do think that this indicator of this join-up with the Dubai is something that is interesting for the global markets.
You hit upon an important issue there. It's renminbi denominated. So is that a problem when the currency isn't fully convertible at this point in time?
I think it is. I think when you want to go settle that contract or you want to borrow money to pay your margins or however that's is going to transpire, it's going to be difficult. And we've seen a lot of the renminbi contracts, CNH, suffer because it's hard to get your hands on the actual currency to settle in the contract.
Okay, I want to talk about what's been going on over here in Singapore, because they've been doing some very, very interesting stuff with developing a spot LNG market. Ultimately, Chris, do you reckon that we are looking at two regional benchmarks being formed here, one in North Asia and one in Southeast Asia?
I think what you have to see first is the development of a really liquid market. So to have a spot market, let's see how it goes. I do think that LNG is definitely an energy of the future, and we've seen a huge uptick. And right now that the U.S. is going to be exporting gas and that Australia is coming online with very huge reserves, that this spot transactional market is going to start to see where the futures markets go. I think it's a little early to see a north-south spread in Asia. I think we need to see one settle itself well. And we're working right now in Japan to try and figure out ways where we can take that huge consumer market, which also has to be linked to the power market. Because when we see the growth of LNG and we see the growth of gas, it's usually linked somewhere to power. So I think that's definitely an exciting story, and we're watching it closely. But I think it's a little early to start seeing the real underlying development of those markets without more liquidity in the spot.